What's up? This is Yuda for BeatLab Academy. We got another episode of Should I Buy It? Today we're checking out a very cool plugin. It's kind of like a sampler sequencer for drums from XLN Audio called XO. XLN Audio released like addictive drums, addictive keys, RC20, a very famous effect for like lo-fi. So good company, make good plugins. Let's see what this is all about. Okay, so here I have an empty project in Ableton. Of course, it's a plugin, so you can use it in any DAW. And let's load XO to a new MIDI track. And the first problem that I encountered is I like to organize my plugins, as you can see, by categories manually. So if you move the plugins, they give you this message. Everything still works, but it gives you this message. Also notice that with their other plugins, addictive drums and stuff. But it still works. So this plugin does come with its own core library of a lot of drum sounds. It's a hit or miss. Some of them are really good, some of them are okay. But here we have this space, what they call space, and each dot represents a sample. The kick, for example, the reds are the kicks, so I can click on that. We have a lot of them. Here we got some snares, hats, cymbals, percussion, and everything. Now, the idea here is that it analyzes all these samples in the core library and is able to give us similar sounds. So for example, here, if I click on this snare, right here on the bottom row, it gives us all the similar sounds to this. We can even refresh that. We can go to the history and see which samples are similar. Nice. And right here we have a kit. Each drum, if we click on that, we have a few things we can change here, and we can also switch it up with a different sound. So let's say choose something here, click this arrow, and now it's loaded to there. Nice. You can also play it with your keyboard. If you have a keyboard, you can play the sounds, but it's also a really powerful sequencer. So let's just go over the stuff here, and then we go to the edit window, which you'll see it's extremely powerful sequencer, not only kind of this organizer of samples that allows us to tag and give us similar sounds, but also a very powerful sequencer. So here we can just click and trigger the sound. We can do some copying and locking and resetting. Volume, mute, solo. And here we can switch it to a similar sound. Very cool. Before I move on, I want to say that you can actually load your own folders to this. Right here you see I loaded my own sample pack to it, so it's also going to include those samples inside. I wish we could remove the core content so we can only do our own samples, but I couldn't figure out a way to do this. So somewhere in here is also my own personal custom samples. Now if you click on a sample, here on the bottom you have all these things you can change, which are also in the edit window. So we'll talk about them in the edit window. It's exactly the same thing, but it's panning, envelope, pitch, EQ, effects, and all of those. Nice. Here we can change all the kit to a similar kit. Very cool stuff. Main output, we can change the volume. We can zoom in, zoom out, or go all the way out. And we can even search if we know like the name of the sample, right? Kick, show us all in the kicks, and so on. Nice. Okay, so that's the space kind of selecting your kit. Super awesome. But right here under edit, we actually have the ability to sequence them with a very nice sequencer and also change each sound. So each sounds have this sample editor right here where you can trim it, you can fade it in, you can detect even the start of the sample, so it's automatically set in the start marker. Mono or stereo, and you can even invert the phase and fade out. So very easy, very simple. Sample editor. Here we have the panning, and let me find that sample. Here we go, on my keyboard. Panning, and we also have a super dope built-in Hass effect. So if you click on that, it's slightly gonna delay the right from the left, so it creates this Hass effect to create it sounding wider. Why did I lose it? Oh, here we go. That's amazing. Envelope, which is not a regular synthesizer volume envelope. This is dedicated to percussive. So transient, if you want to diffuse it more, hold, and decay. Nice. Here we have pitch. Let's reset. I wish we could double click to reset. Can we Shift click, Option click. Oh, okay, Option click to reset. Nice. Here we kind of, again, just like the panning, we're slightly offsetting the pitch from the left and right. Again, creating more stereo effects. Here it's kind of like a tilt EQ, so it's going to be brighter or darker. We have a high pass, a low pass right here. Cutting the highs, cutting the lows. And velocity sensitivity. We can also take it down. So now it doesn't matter how strong we hit it. Option click to reset. Nice. Here we can only play one sample. We can turn it into poly mode if it's a long sample that we want to play. Here we can choose a mute group. So this is choke groups. If you select two samples to be on the same group, they're not going to play together. They're going to choke each other out. Very useful for open hat and closed hat or any other type of percussion that is a very long sound. Here we can reverse the sample. And here we can actually output it to a different output in Ableton. So right now they're all going to the same output, but we can route it to a different one. So each sound from XO going to have its own track in Ableton or whatever software you use. Check out our video on multiple outputs from Contact. It's the same situation, same scenario. So you can set it up right here. Very cool. Multi-timbral instrument. We also have two built-in effects down here. One for reverb and one for delay and reverbs. Both of them can be delays on reverbs, so we can decide how much we're sending. Here's the delay. And here's kind of like a very short reverb. Here's a more classic reverb. Nice, so that's the controls for each sound. Down here we have the overall level, volume of the kit, the pitch, and the global send. So all the drums going into the reverb, or the delay. This is the global effects. We have this distortion effect with a bunch of different modes. Let's bring it up. So degrade like beat crushing. And we'll do it in a second. We'll test them out as we play some drums here. Here we have a high cut and low cut and a soft clipper just to make sure we're not clipping at the end. Nice. Now right here we have the sequencer. So let's play that. I'm going to hit play and hit the spacebar on my in Ableton. Nice. So here we can start sequencing drums. I can just put them in. I can drag them up and down to change velocity. Nice. We have also a second page, and right now we can chain them, so A and B, so we're kind of extending, doubling the length of our sequence. And right now when I switch between A and B, we can see that all the layers are cloned. So I can actually change one of them, and then the clone will go away. So now we have differences right here in this sequencer. Nice. Each sequencer, let's solo the closed hat. Let's go just off. Here we even have like A, B. So 3 bars and then B, kind of a transition or a roundabout, right? Kind of going back to the first, to the beginning. We can follow also the sequencer, so it's jumping between A and B. Oh, let's do A and B and follow. Nice, so now it's following. Excellent. On each sequencer, first of all, down here, we can add a global swing. We can decide what type of swing we have, and we have a bunch of super dope swings, even quintuplets and septuplets, excuse me, for that neo-soul kind of swing. So that's super awesome, we have it. But for each sequencer, it can have its own swing, which is super awesome, and you can even nudge it forward or backwards in time. So each one of the sequencers can have its own dedicated swing. Nice, and we can even set to all of them to turn it on. Let's go, turn it off. Nice. Here we can decide kind of accents. Let's randomize that. Nice. Let's bring this down. So a very cool engine to kind of shape the accent across the pattern. Really cool. Let's unsolo that. So now we can even hear it with that with the reverb. With the swing. Nice. Now, right here, we can also open up the beat combinator. And this is a way to kind of, with a circular, kind of similar to Euclidean rhythms, but it's not really Euclidean. You can start changing patterns here from all these dedicated patterns. You can go on all of them, like right here. So a lot of different combinations of patterns. We can even randomize. Let's go back here. Nice. We can also empty it out. So basic patterns and extracted from presets. Excellent. Here we have the sample combinator. So here we can just change similar samples in our kit. We can even go to live filter and search for the sample we want. And we can even randomize. We can even go randomize the entire kit right here. Nice. Now we have a lot of presets in a lot of different styles. Simply amazing stuff. And again, each one of them can have same pattern, but similar samples. And here is an overview of what the patterns look like. Simply incredible. Just so in-depth, this thing. Okay, now so you can load a bunch of presets. Now right here, you just have some general stuff, user folder, getting started PDF, and you can even go to the settings and scale it different. Let's try 125. Right, it's bigger. Let's go back 100. Nice. Now we can also export MIDI right here with this button. We can export MIDI, or we can even export audio processed or non-processed. So right here, we can just beatsense MIDI. We can just drag this to Ableton. And here we have the pattern for this kit. We can also render waves. So now it's creating different samples. Right here, there are processed. Here's the stem for the entire pattern. Here's all the stems, process kit, raw kit. So here's the beat as wave. So I can just drag it here. Right, and I have a loop. Let's go back there. I can drag just the sound. Let's drag this sound. Right, so I just have a loop of that sound, whatever the pattern, or just one shot of the sound. So you can even kind of export individual ones. You can normalize it even, and then we can render it again. So it's all normalized to full maximum volume. And it's simply amazing. So you can export, of course, all the patterns in MIDI to use your own sounds, or you can even export the sounds that you use here, or the kits, or the loops, whatever it may be. So amazing, so in-depth. Let's play this, and I'm gonna add some distortion so we can hear the different. So we have a bunch of different distortion models here. Bunch of different reverbs and delays. Wow, amazing. So again, the only thing I wish we could do is just remove the core content so we can put our own sample library. But this thing is so powerful because it just gives you endless variations of drums and drum sounds. Thankfully, with all the presets, and there's a lot in different categories, comes with a lot of different patterns. And it's very easily to start combining different patterns with the beat combiner. And of course, combining different samples with the sample combiner. So you can even lock them, refresh the similarity. Simply, I'm still exploring it. It's still kind of so in depth. I'm so happy to see the companies really kind of trying to extract all the features that they can out of the idea that they have. And in this case, this sampler sequencer is simply amazing. So I would say the winning feature here is to load your own samples here. But the sequencer is so capable that you can very easily create drums for any style and even add variations to them to different sections of the song very, very easily with this. So check it out, XLN Audio. Check out our blog post for the full review, links, our rating of this plugin. And yeah, check them out. Really cool. We'd love to hear if you guys using it. And we'd love to hear if anyone knows how to remove the content, core content library. I want to use only my samples. That would be so cool. Okay. XO by XLN Audio. Catch you next time.